Hi guys, got another ready for you. This is another mock draft. So yeah, let's get it started. This one will be a run round mock draft. So let's get it started. First off, New York Jets. They look if they're picking this high at the end of the season, um, Justin Fields probably not that good rest of the year. They did lose this last week without him with Tyler Taylor starting. It was a close game. They still lost. Something will get him a new quarterback. He been a little better lately. Had some struggles. I'm gonna give him the North Stellars QB out of South Carolina. You can keep Fields another year, develop Stellars for a season behind Fields, maybe two. Number two, got the New Orleans Saints. They really need a quarterback. Problem is, this quarterback class is not that good. Just like you got some guys showing flashes that might be end up really good. Nobody so far has really I just went Sellers, but not really another guy that's worth the top two pick. Teams reaching quarterbacks all the time. I just do they really want to do that again? Just because you really need a quarterback that bad. So let's look at some of these other positions that you need. They could use a guy opposite Chase Young. Cam Jordan is pretty old. They don't really have much behind him because they drafted Zay Foskey in the second round a couple years ago. They released him. He's no longer on the team, so that he'll have to be their eventual replacement. Come to use a tier D line help. Got Carl Granderson. He's getting up there. Got Brian Breesy, but you could use an upgrader Granderson have a good future pairing with Woods and Breesy, two former Clemson guys, because Breesy went to Clemson as well. But instead, a little higher on Bain. He's had a really good year so far. Edge is a little more valuable than tier D line. So I'll go room Bain Edge on Miami, Florida. I am doing trades in this mock, so maybe at the end of the first, if there's a good quarterback left, I can trade up with the Saints and try to get a quarterback just so that way they still have the fifth year option. We'll see how that goes. Number three, got the Tennessee Titans. This is a team that definitely won't be taking a QB. They got Cam Ward obviously, so they don't need QB. So we'll see. They could really use some hedge. They could have used hedge help, so could still go Kendrick Falk, but I would love to even. I really think even more if Bain was still here, but he is gone. Instead, who is there? They've invested a lot of picks in their old line, but it's not been that good so far. Like, who is there? Who is the Titans tackle? So they got former Bama. They got J.C. Latham and Dan Moore. Well, they paid Dan Moore a lot. I'm not very high on him. So maybe they go Peter Woods but they have Jeffrey Simmons. They drafted Devondre Sweat last year. Not this last year in the 2024 draft in the second round. Maybe they go edge, but I don't want to go another edge after Bain just went. If Bain was here, I'll do that, but he's not. I love Downs. But they recently extended Monty Hooker. They drafted Kevin Winston Jr., who I like out of Penn State. So I think they don't really need a safety that much, especially in the top three where safety isn't super valuable. So, but yeah, like if they didn't pay Dan Moore or they didn't draft J.C. Latham in the first couple years ago, I might go tackle. Like they've invested a lot of money in a lot of high draft picks. Too early if you're a interior guy to get a replacement for Zeitler. So I'm gonna try to get a late interior line trio. I'm gonna get the Peter Woods out Clemson. Number four, got the Miami Dolphins. I was considering going him with the Titans pick a tackle. They didn't go tackle. I'm gonna go him here, get better protection for Tua. And they'll give him another year just because they're paying him a lot. We'll see what happens there. I'm gonna give a Spencer Furnell tackle up Utah. Get some help at tackle. Number five, got the New York Giants. Another team. They need tackle. Like a lot of teams in a row here need tackle. Like Giants need help with the line. Dolphins do just win tackle. Texans could use some help. Patriots could use our tackle opposite Will Campbell. Raiders even could use some help. Their line's been bad. I want to go with some tackles. I'm going to go tackle here. Get an upgrade at right tackle or Jermaine Luinor. Hopefully, Andrew Thomas can stay healthy for once, and these two can be elite tackle duo. I'll give them Francis Magua. Try to get Jackson Dart some elite protection next year when he becomes, assumingly, is the starter all of next year. Number 6, you got the Houston Texans. I would love to go tackle here, or even just O-line in general. Maybe we can do a trade down. So they need O-line. It's just I think it's a little early for my next tackle. Maybe somebody tries to jump the Patriots or for an edge guy for Kendrick Falk, because the Texans don't need edge. They got Will Anderson. They got Daniil Hunter. They don't really need edge. So maybe a team tries to jump the Patriots or even the Raiders, because the Raiders might try to get an edge guy opposite of Max Crosby because their defense is not that good. They could really use help there. It's just a matter who. And I think a good team to do it is the Cowboys, because they just traded Micah Parsons. Their pass rush has not been good so far. So I'm going to do a trade. Let's see here. Between the Texans. So it's 6. And the Cowboys. So 10. 4 spots is not only worth 2 first. Yeah, I'm not doing 2 rounds in this, but I'll add in the Cowboys' 2nd round pick. Then I'll add the Texans' 5th round pick, just making them more lopsided. The Cowboys have a 3rd round pick. I'll just do that, not do the 5th for the Texans. But the Cowboys don't. So I'll do the 2nd, add in Texans' 5th to make it a little better. I'm going to do that trade. Texans trade down 4 spots. Hopefully a tackle's still there, because it might be a little too early for some of these other teams. Go tackle. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to go Kendrick Falk out of Auburn here for the Cowboys. Try to get some good pass rush there. Number 7, got the New England Patriots. You could still go T.J. Parker, but I'm going to look at some other reasons just because Falk was here, probably go him. They released Jabril Peppers recently before season started. They got Kyle Duggar, but there was rumors that they could have gotten rid of him. I'm not high on Jalen Hawkins or Craig Woodson. So yeah, he's falling a little bit. I think Babel might like to go best player available. I think that's Caleb Downs, especially since you're not going to go QB. So I'm going to go Caleb Downs, safety Ohio State. Try to help out that safety room. Get a really good secondary. Because you already got a good corner room, Carlton Davis, Christian Gonzalez. Try to make that safety room good as well. All right, number 8. Got the Las Vegas Raiders. So yeah, let's take could definitely go T.J. Parker, try to get a guy opposite Max Crosby. They drafted, who was that Texas Tech edge a couple years ago? They drafted Tyree Wilson. He has not worked out so far. He's been a bust so far. So he's not going to make them avoid drafting an edge highly if it works out that way. Let's be honest. Instead, corner, they lost Nate Hobbs to the Packers. They brought in who was Eric Stokes. He's on a 1-year deal. They got a lot of young guys. Nobody I'm super high on though, because I feel like edge. Yeah, I could use a guy opposite of Crosby. But Kuntz is decent if you bring him back. He is a free agent. Crosby is elite versus that corner. You don't really have any really good at corner. One of your starters is going to be free agent. You can use help secondary in general. If Downs was here, I'd take him out. Get help with that safety group as well, but he's not, obviously. So I'm going to give them Mansour Delaney of LSU. He's had a really good year at LSU. Kugo McCoy is just tough. We'll see how he does when he comes back from injury. He hasn't played all this year. He's as good or even better as he was last year. He'll definitely be number 1 corner. It's just tough. And, meanwhile, Delaney has played and he's been really good. So I get Delaney instead. Number 9, got the Denver Broncos. So yeah, assuming the Broncos don't trade down, their Texans trade down worked well because nobody's taking a tackle. But yeah, let's check out some. They definitely could use help from our receiver. Their weapons have struggled. They also like some help. Bo Nix has had problems with overthrows so far, so it's not all their weapons, but their weapons haven't been like it's not like weapons have just been insanely good. So I'm gonna try getting some more weapons. I don't know how many years left Torrance Sutton does have, but I feel like there's seems like it all the time. There's rumors he might move on. They might get rid of him. Even if they don't, I'm not really high in some of their other guys. So I'm looking at Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. Invest in offense this time because they invested in their early defense last year. Number 10 got the Houston Texans back on the board after their trade down with the Cowboys. Yeah, it worked out great. I wanted to go align with them. It was just a little early for the next tackle with the previous pick, so I didn't do it. Hey, trade down. No tackles gone since they trade down. Because like if they trade down like a couple more picks, probably would have. Because Browns definitely could use a tackle. So yeah, I don't give them Caleb Manu out of Utah here. Get better protection for CJ Stroud. Number 11 got the Cleveland Browns. They still could go tackle, but hope maybe at their next pick at 20 that they have. Just sucks if Texans win one. If maybe they trade down, hope because like if they can like trade down before the Rams next pick at 15, that'd be great because then you can trade then because Panthers, Chiefs, and Bears. Maybe the Panthers, but Stroud shows enough flashes I think not to draft a quarterback, especially in a weak quarterback class this year. So I think you could trade down to like before the Rams next pick, and you still get a quarterback and get some extra picks. It's just, does anybody want to trade up? That's the thing. Just because you want to trade down doesn't mean somebody wants to trade down with you. But I think because like after TJ Parker, like I like Ugalagale and Sutton, but I feel like it's a little early at 14 for one of those guys for the Bears, and Panthers could go at edge. Definitely could go edge. Maybe in the Chiefs to get some help with pass rush. So I think I think this is a good trade up spot for the Chicago Bears. So that's what I'm going to do here. So Browns are giving up 11. Chicago are giving up 14 and 76. So yeah, Browns trained 11. The Bears for 14, 30, 76. Bears get their edge help. They get TJ Parker here. Get a guy opposite Montez Sweat. Try help out the edge rush. Could go Jamar Love, I guess, but I feel like Love's been really good, but top 15, I feel like still early for him. Number 12, I got the Carolina Panthers. One of the teams I had the Bears jumping because I thought they definitely could go edge route if there's edge here. There isn't because they still could, but not. I'm not really high on any of these next edge rushers to go in this high with the Bears just jumping them for TJ Parker. That's what happens when you're doing mocks with trades. That's how it goes. Like when you're doing trades, you're risking teams jumping you. So they could use some. Maybe could use some corner. You got J.C. Horn, who's going healthy. Problem is he's dealt without injuries over his career so far. But I'm not. Mike Jackson's not that good. I'm not high in Charles Smith Wade or any of their counters. So outside Horn, so I'm going to smell corner. I don't give them Jermon McCoy out of Tennessee here. Number 13, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. Another team that he could have considered going edge if the Bears didn't jump them. Just like the Bears, like if they didn't trade, they really could have been screwed out edge rusher there at 14. But that's what they did. If corner could go even on trail, but especially with all these like three of their corners, you get like decent sparring time are free agents. Like they drafted Noel Williams in third, but that doesn't have to stop you from drafting a corner relatively high. This thing is a little early for Avion Terrell, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm gonna give him some relation for Kelsey. He's not been that great so far. He's getting old. Maybe he ends up retiring now that he's getting married to Taylor Swift soon. So I'm not giving placement for him. I don't think Noah Gray's true number one tight end. I think he's a good number 2. I'm going to Kenyon Sadiq out Oregon. get Mahomes another good tight end to replace Kelsey. You see Mahomes loves to have good tight ends. Number 14, got the Cleveland Browns. Worked out perfectly. They risked the Rams trade up in front of them to jump them, but that didn't happen. They trade down a few picks, got an extra third this year. They can still go QB, get it to value so early, especially because I felt like they could still get a good trade down. So it's like, and if they're picking at 10, whoever they play the quarterback probably didn't work out too well, whether it's Joe Flacco, Shedeur, Gabriel. Even then, Gabriel and Shedeur returned 5th-round picks, and we'll see. Um, their head coach might not last for another year, depending on how the season goes. Who knows? And the Rams having 2 picks before their next pick. I'm not thinking quarterback's falling to their next. I think there's going to be one quarterback going then. So I'm going to QB. I am no go for Fernando Mendoza, who's been good for Indiana, had to help them blow out Syracuse. So yeah, we're 15. Got the LA Rams. Another team the Lions and Commanders aren't taking quarterback. The King could try to jump them with the Commanders, like the Steelers, the Browns aren't. They just took a QB, but I feel like they could wait and be fine to take quarterback till 18. I feel like they might be risky. I feel like they could risk it and not get they could suck. They could team could take one so quarterback right in front, trade up, take quarterback right in front of them. That I don't know. Hope that this doesn't happen. I'm higher on the next tackle and the next corner. They could really use some corner help, and corner class has some. I feel like has some better depth than the tackle class. So I'm tackle here. I'm gonna get some better protection for whoever I get 18. Assuming they take quarterback there, I should say. I'm gonna get them Caden Proctor, tackle Alabama. Get him some protection. Help at O-line. Number 16 got the Detroit Lions. Yeah, they tried going with Marcus Sanford this year again. He's injured again. No way. I know. He never gets injured, right? So I'm gonna try to get an edge rusher opposite of Hutchinson. I don't get them guy who's had a really good year so far. I don't get them Mateo Ugalele. We'll see. They're not playing against each other, so to say, since Sutton and Ugalele are on the same side of the ball. They're not going to be lining up against each other, but their teams play each other this week, So we'll see how they do against each other's respective teams. Number 17 got the Washington Commanders. Another team that could use some edge help if there was here. Keel Sutton, but I think it might be a little early. Instead, I feel like this is decent spot to go running back. Eckler is out for the year. He's getting up there. He's a free agent anyways. We'll see what happens to him next season. Got Crosby Trinit, but he's alright, but they've shown they like to have a good running back duo because they still kept Eckler. They had Brian Robinson as Dan Quinn's first year. See if Klinsbury stays depending on the rest of the season goes. But I'm going to get them Jeremiah Love, running back on Notre Dame. Try to get them elite running back here to pair with Jaden Daniels for the long term. Number 18, got the LA Rams. Yeah, it worked out perfectly. No team traded up in front of them to get the QB. So it worked out. We'll see if Stafford plays another year or not. But yeah, they could really use corner, but I want to go QB here. I'm going to give them John Mateer, QB out of Oklahoma. Get them their future quarterback of the future. A guy who's had a good year that not a lot of people were super high on him, feel going into the year, but he's had a good year for Oklahoma so far. Number 19 got the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, Calvin, their defense was awful last night against Lions. Yeah, it didn't help. They didn't have Matabuke or Calvin Noy due to injury, but even then, their defense hasn't been great the first 2 weeks, even before they faced the Lions. It's not like it was just the Lions game when they didn't have 2 of their top defensive linemen, I don't try to get some help. Hopefully, Mike Green can develop and be good for him. He's a second-round pick. See, odds awfully away, but he'll eventually I believe this is either last year or next year's last year to steal. So he eventually might leave it. So I'm going to try to get some help. Replace away with another Penn State guy. Again, Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State here. Kind of funny. He replaced away with the Penn State guy because away went to Penn State. Number 20 got the Cleveland Browns with their second pick here. They trade down to 14 originally and took Fernando Mendoza out QB to get to QB of the future. Now I'm gonna try to get some better protection for Mendoza. Dwan Jones looked all right before he got injured. Now he's out the rest of the year. Conklin's free agent. He's always injured. Try to get some help there. I don't give them Isaiah Worrell, tackle Oregon. We'll see how he does facing Danny Dennis Sutton for part of the game this upcoming week. Number 21 got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, it kind of sucks. So many QBs have already gone. Because I just want to see. I kind of forgot. So I've got 3 QBs so far, but I feel like this is like you could argue Nussmeier at this point over Mendoza and Mertier. I just a little higher on those guys. They just have better years with not as good teams around them. I feel like so I'm gonna go Garrett Nussmeier for Steelers. Get a replacement for Aaron Rodgers. Number 22, we got the Minnesota Vikings. Oh. So yeah, let's see. They could use who's Avion Terrell is still here. Yeah, I don't know why. Like the guy I haven't paced. He's free agent, but he's a restricted free agent, I believe, because he was UDFA, so he only had 3 years on his original deal. They got Cashman, who is always injured, which kind of sucks, but I feel like you might be able to find a better linebacker for agency than a corner, just because a lot of good corners, more often than not, don't enter free agency too much versus linebackers. Not as much either, but I feel like it's a little more often. And their corner room is much worse than their linebacker room, so I'm going to give them Avion Terrell, cornerback Clemson. Yes, their secondary looked good against the Bengals that Sunday, but that's also against Jake Browning. Zay Rogers has a career game. He is only on a 2-year deal. Byron Murphy is good, but they don't really have much at third corner, so I feel like they could use some help. They could go safety and Dylan Thiemann to get replacement for Harrison Smith. I am just higher on Avion Terrell on my board than I am Thiemann, so that's why I went him instead. Number 23, got the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. has just not been that good so far this year. I'm not saying I'm going to replace him. Let's try to get some more good weapons for Kyler Murray, take some of the load off of Harrison, and hopefully help him at wide receiver. So you could also go tackle. I feel like might be a little early for Gooseby, though. So I'm going to give them Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. Pair Marvin Harrison Jr. with an Ohio State guy. Number 24, got the Seattle Seahawks. Our team that just got a big win. Taylor's here, maybe you could argue it. You could pair Tate with another former Ohio State guy and Smith-Njigba. But I'm not this high on Tony Williams as of now or Mekhi Lehman, so nothing to do with that. Yeah. Instead, I'm going to try to get them some help with that. Get some better pass rush. Your G line's been good, but haven't had really that much an edge, so I'm going to get them LT Overton, Alabama here. Number 25, got the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, like we already knew they need Joe Burrow to be good, but it definitely showed this last week when they didn't have Burrow. Their whole team was just bad. So yeah, if it's a little early for my next edge, so I'm gonna get them some help at corner. I'm gonna give them Damani Jackson at Bama. He's had a good year for Bama so far. Give them some help on that defense. Number 26, got the Dallas Cowboys with their first pick. They traded up to 6 and got Kendrick Falk to get a replacement for Micah Parsons. So got that situation figured out. Jackson is still here. I might go him just because Trayvon Diggs has not been good so far. He's had some injuries, but he's not been good. Jerome Bland's health injuries. Both of them are kind of injury prone at this point, but it's just too early for my next corner, so not going to do that. So yeah. Yeah. Who are their safeties? They got Malik Hooker, pretty sure still. Lincoln and who the other names are. Safety. So you got Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker. Could use an upgrade over them. So instead of going corner, I'm going to go safety. Just stay in that secondary. I don't give them Dylan Thiemann out of Oregon. Could argue our receiver to get a replacement for George Pickens as a free agent, but still think it's a little early for my next wide receiver. Number 27, got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. They have not. They do not. They have not 10 picks so far. Marquiata QB is still available. Like I've said in the past, especially after the year he's had so far, I'm not going to go Arch Manning in this draft. Maybe for in the 2027. Well, he would be in the 2027 draft. I'm not in this one. Said I don't get the replacement for Lavonte David. I did this in was it my last one or was it the previous one? I did this in my draft for them before. I don't do it again. I don't get them Anthony Hill Jr. out of Texas. Lavonte David has been playing forever, but he'll eventually retire. I bet you would think. Could go arguably some edge help, but I think it's a little early for David Bailey for me. So yeah, number 28 got the Indianapolis Colts. They're picking at 28. Sandy Jones ended up having a good year, or maybe Jones got injured and Richardson came in and had a good rest of the year. So I'm not going to go QB because I'm assuming Jones had that good of a year there. They end up extending him, even though he's a free agent. So I'm not going to stay away from that. So instead, they signed Tarvarius Ward this last offseason. They signed Mike Hilton to their practice squad yesterday. They signed Xavier Howard on a 1-year deal. Yes, got Kenny Moore to third, the second. Sorry, when I looked at their depth chart, I thought there was three. Those. So this is second. But Moore's getting up there. It's not going to sell corner. I'm going to give them AJ Harris out Penn State here. Get them help in that secondary. Number 29, you got the Buffalo Bills. So yeah, if Anthony Hill didn't go to Bucs a couple picks ago, I'll probably go him a little early for CJ Allen, just because Matt Milano, he's been good and healthy in the past, but he just never can stay healthy is the problem. So instead, I'm going to try to get a replacement for Joey Bosa, who is a free agent. Try to get a good pairing with this guy and Gregory Rousseau. Epenessa's free agent as well, their third pass rusher. I'm going to give them David Bailey out Texas Tech here. Number 30, got the San Francisco 49ers. Team who seems like every year they deal with this. They have 100 injuries right now. I say it's oversaturation, but they have a lot of injuries, But they're still 3-0. Bosa just tore his ACL, so he's out the rest of the year, which sucks for them. So, their defense has been great. They could use some help there in secondary, but it's been good enough to push it back. So I'm gonna try to get a replacement for Trent Williams, just getting up there. I'm gonna get them Trevor Gooseby out Texas. Number 31, got the LA Chargers. Another team who's dealing with some injuries so far. They just lost Najee Harris for the rest of the year. Guy, it was literally for his first all of his seasons with Steelers, never dealt with injury. Then first offseason got eye injury to fireworks. Then a few games in the third game of the season, he tore his Achilles. So it was like, dang, that really is just the Chargers that do not like to stay healthy. So yeah, but I have to go running back and see Martin Hampton. I just want to talk about that. So I'm trying to get some help in that charity line. Do they have Puna Ford again? I feel like Puna Ford is one of their guys. I'm trying to look. Too early for next edge. So yeah, they got Shanahan, Tart, and Ojibuna. Those are more rotation guys. I'm going to try to get number 1. I'm going to give them Caleb Banks too. I'm out of Florida here. Number 32, the last pick of the first round here, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. So yeah, they struggled this last week. They still got the win though. That's what matters the most, right? Had a big comeback late to beat the Rams. Who was top? Yeah, way too early from our edge. I feel like you could wait till the second round or maybe 2027 draft to get tackled a little early for one. Who are some of these top guys? Not looking at quarterback, obviously, because they got Jalen Hurts. All our receivers, they're decent. They are always seem to find elite tier alignments. I feel like they don't have to do Lewis, especially because Lewis mainly interior line guy, center guy. I mean, and they got Cam Jerkins, who's been good, and they extended Reese a couple months ago, so they don't really need help there. Corner, yeah. Instead, I'll try to get him with a third corner. Make sure they don't have to ever watch Dorky Jackson ever again. He has not been good so far. I'm gonna give them Malik Muhammad out Texas here. So yeah, guys, that's all me for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one.